A few other issues now that Opposition Leader Peter Dutton, a similar path to what you've done this week on the issue of youth crime, posting crimes online via social media. He wants to criminalise it via the federal parliament. You're heading in a similar direction in New South Wales, aren't you?
Yeah, we've introduced legislation into the lower house this week, their so-called post and boast offences. Look, I don't want to be in a situation where particularly young people are trying to one-up themselves by posting the most outrageous crimes on social media. We've got the latest statistics came out today. We do have an issue, particularly in relation to youth crime, and it's a suite of reforms and changes that we're implementing that we hope will lead to a decline in the criminal rate, particularly in regional New South Wales. Something's got to change, and we're determined to see a turnaround.
The Greens say it's a knee-jerk reaction. It'll further traumatise the kids involved. What do you say to that?
No, I think it's a balanced approach, but I mean, we can't have a situation where we do have repeat offenders committing the same or similar offences over and over again and getting bail and being put back into the community if for no other reason than the actual offenders. It's not in their interests. I'm deeply worried that a young person in particular will kill themselves or their family members or their friends or a member of the public in the commission of these crimes, and something's got to change.
On another matter, something we spoke about in the lead up to the election, your successful election run was the issue of tolls. You campaigned on it heavily. Anyone that's visited, I know this is a Sydney issue, but anyone that's visited from interstate and driven on your roads knows tolls are a big factor. You've got to pay a lot to drive around the place. Are you hemmed in? Are you restricted by the contracts that run decades that simply can't do much because you've got these contracts with Transurban and others that are basically locked in?
Well, Kieran, I'd expect this question from a boy from Fairfield. And look, you're absolutely right. Western Sydney in particular gets smashed from tolls. And the contracts that are in place do limit the government's actions. But that's why we've got an independent review that's had a look at it. Professor Fells, I should say, has delivered a whole range of potential options that the government's looking at very closely. But while we're waiting, crucially, in New South Wales, we have a $60 a week toll cap. We don't want particularly Western Sydney families that don't have access to public transport to be paying through the nose because of the previous government's decisions. So, yes, reform will be difficult, but something's got to change here because at the moment, particularly Western Sydney families are copping it in the neck.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Finally, I know you've got a busy day, but I want to ask you about this issue of medium density housing. I've heard quite a few complaints from councils, mayors, some Labor, not happy with the consultation, the stakeholder management the government is doing. Can you do more? Where is this at in terms of your policy of basically overriding council control of these development issues?
Yeah, we can do more, and we are. We're meeting with mayors, general managers, heads of planning in all of these councils, and it's a really simple message. If we can get the same or even more housing in those particular areas, we're more than happy to take our planning controls off the table. At the end of the day, all we want is a future for young people so that young people in this state, in this city, Sydney in particular, don't feel that they have to up and leave to have a future. And the Productivity Commission warned, if we don't make changes, then we'll be a city without grandchildren, and a city without young people is one without a future.
Indeed. Premier Minns, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.